Today on CityCast DC. Pumpkin spice is fine and all, but DC bartenders are doing way more interesting things with fall flavors. Today, Emily Venezky of Eater is taking you on a little bar crawl through the city's best drinks worth putting on a sweater for, and why DC is a great city for cocktails. Today is Thursday, October 23rd. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. Emily, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So listeners know fall is my favorite season. I love October. I love spooky season. I love fall flavors. Do you have a favorite seasonal cocktail around the city?
Oof, it's such a hard question. If I want something like really delicious and warm, I want to go somewhere where I can like curl up next to a fire. Last year, I went to Nina May's like outdoor seating area and had a really yummy like hot toddy. Went to A Kitchen Plus Bar and had, it was like the richest dark hot chocolate I've ever had. But if I'm like at a restaurant and I'm like, what do I want for fall? It's usually, and this is a weird one, I'm a really big tequila person, but I'm usually going for, Oaxacan Old Fashioned, super alcoholic.
Wow, I don't associate tequila with fall, really. I think of it more as sort of a summertime refreshing drink, but they're making fall flavor tequila cocktails?
Yeah, I totally get that. Like fall does not seem to go with tequila, but I think if you like, add some mole bitters and like really dress it up as a fall drink, it works well. And, I'll go for a whiskey drink, which is a lot more fall-y, but I'm just a huge fan of tequila.
Have you ever been to any of these seasonal cocktail pop-ups around the city? I have not been to them myself, but I see them advertised from time to time. Are those things that you're into?
Yeah, no, I recommend them. So we do like a big pop-up list. I kind of run our pop-up list. Last year, we did so many ones for fall and the holidays. I would say like kind of watch our pop-ups tracker, shameless plug. A few off the top of my head. Again, A Kitchen Plus Bar does great stuff on their patio. I find it really fun to go there for their pop-ups. Lulu's Wine Garden. I'm a huge fan of their pop-ups that they do. They do like a harvest moon wine bar thing.
Ooh.
That I'm a fan of.
Oh, yeah. I love that spot. You mentioned A Kitchen Plus Bar. They have the patios with the fire pits outside, right? So you could be by a fire, be sitting in crisp fall weather, drinking a fall-inspired beverage. Do I have this right?
Yeah, that's it. And it's so fun. I mean, I'm a huge fan of sipping something warm while being outside in the cold. So I really recommend it.
The best combination of things. As a cocktail aficionado, how do you judge a good cocktail?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say really good balance, and that's different for like every single cocktail. Like some cocktails are super boozy forward. Some cocktails are more fruit forward. And some are like, they try to keep it low ABV, keep it a light, easily crushable drink. And I think I'm always just looking for balance there. Not too sweet, not too super, super boozy, like hits you over the head. And I'm always looking for cocktails to just kind of not hit you with one flavor. You want a bunch of balanced flavors in there. For me, that's like number one, if it tastes super balanced and amazing. And I think it's a lot of personal taste. Like I will say I'm a huge boozy cocktail person. Like I said, tequila is like my number one alcohol, which is a really hot take. So
it is. I mean, I do think it's hard to find the balanced cocktails because a lot of them are either, as you said, way too boozy. I think that there are places that think, a good cocktail is one that is super stiff, which if you're, not trying to have a wild night, maybe you want something a little less stiff, or super sweet. I like fruit forward cocktails, but I think oftentimes that can get misconstrued as, you basically want to sip candy through a straw, which is not the case for me.
Absolutely. I feel the same way, especially because I love like a passion fruit or a lychee, drink. And I think, that's going to be so good. And I'm so disappointed if it comes out and it feels like, I'm sipping candy. So I feel that.
Do you remember, and maybe this is sort of outing me as somebody who is a little late to DC's cocktail scene, but I feel there was a time where every bar put an espresso martini on their list. Do you remember this? This was sort of a phase in DC.
Yes. And like, I wasn't mad at that phase. I think during that time, I was trying to try every espresso martini in the city because, like you said, it was such a thing. And I had a few like favorites really pop up for me. Like I will still go to Service Bar and order an espresso martini.
They do have a dope espresso martini there. Yeah, I was just there, and it is quite good. This is not to hate on the espresso martini at all because I am a fan. Although I do feel that it can be hard to time it because you don't want to drink an espresso martini at 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. But oftentimes earlier in the day, when are you really ready for a martini? I feel the window for an espresso martini, you have to really play it just right.
I completely feel that, especially because I'm very much affected by coffee. So I think it should be your first drink of the night. Honestly, like an espresso martini with like a little snack to begin your night is like a perfect way to start, in my opinion. I think I have a rule: no espresso martinis after 7 p.m.
Same. What do you think is going to be the next espresso martini in DC? The next super popular cocktail, or maybe we're in the middle of that vibe right now.
Yeah, I don't think this is a hot take at all. We're in the middle of the martini renaissance right now, right? Just a straight up martini. I think dirty martinis have become huge to the point where like some bars have like the filthiest martini you've ever had. It just tastes like straight, pickle juice, olive juice, or even blue cheese. And I'm not mad about the martini renaissance. I think it's fun. I also think it's like a sign of the times. If you look at like, cocktail history, when things are popular, when we're in times of like financial uncertainty or like, just things are feeling wacky, which I think in DC I can kind of say is the vibe right now. People are gravitating towards more alcoholic, strong drinks, those super boozy drinks. So I think that's where this martini renaissance we're in right now is coming from.
Dorinda Medley from the show Real Housewives of New York has a great line about martinis. Martinis are like breasts. 2 is the perfect amount, 3 is too many. And those are words to live by in my book.
I love that. That is a really smart way to measure because, you get really excited when you have a second. You're like a crazy night out. But if you hit the third, it's like downhill. Yeah.
Yes. So how good would you say DC's cocktail scene is generally?
That's a hard question. I feel like we have so many amazing, like high-end cocktail bars that I'm really excited about. Silver Lion, Press Club, Bar Mini, Allegory with all the storytelling elements, Off the Record. I feel like we have some really amazing, like high-end cocktail bars. I think we also have good middle-of-the-road cocktail bars. Bar Betsy, Astoria, The Alchemist, Golden Age, OKPB, places that are like, your cocktail isn't $20, but it's still in that $15 to $19 range. I think what is really good in DC is the classics. And when people play with the classics, classic cocktails like Negronis, Old Fashions, Martinis, I think that we're really good at that. And I think that we're a good cocktail town. I don't know. I feel like I'm biased because I cover DC and I love DC. But I'm a huge fan of the cocktails we have around here. Yeah. Does that answer your question? I feel like it's not a good answer.
It does. And I'm curious, have you seen DC's cocktail scene evolve in recent years? Like, how has it changed?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think that we've gotten into way more experiential cocktail experiences. I mean, I think of places like McKellen's, where they are like known for super great classic cocktails, make a mean daiquiri and everything across the board. But they've gotten so into their themes in the last few years. Like their crazy themed menus have just gotten like wilder and wilder, in my opinion. So like, I think that's a huge thing. And then there's places like Press Club opening where their whole thing is the experience of like your cocktail. They do these album experiences, right? Where each, there's like 3 or 4 cocktails based on songs in the album. And while you listen to the album, like they have it spaced out. So the cocktails are like served when you hit that part in the album.
Oh, wow.
It's so experiential. And I think that's like where we're going with cocktail bars now, is it's really about the experience. Even in restaurants, like that Balos espresso martini cart is still huge, So I think that's where we're seeing the cocktail scene move towards. Instead of being, classic getting a drink after work, it's like, where can I go somewhere where it's really a big night, a fun time?
Mark the date. This November 8th in D.C., join the National Center for Victims of Crime for its 40th anniversary gala. It's an evening of celebration and sparkle, with dinner and a silent auction filled with one-of-a-kind treasures. Raise a glass with friends, honor champions of hope, and help make sure life-changing support for crime survivors remains accessible. Join NCVC for an unforgettable night of connection and purpose, all while supporting services that make a real difference in your community. Go to victimsofcrime.org/40 today to grab your tickets and join us for this unforgettable night. That's victimsofcrime.org/40. Life can flip on a dime. One minute, everything's normal, and the next, someone else's mistake shakes your world upside down. And that's when you need a team you can count on. NACE Law Group has been standing up for DC families for decades, fighting for neighbors hurt by medical malpractice, wrongful deaths, and serious injuries. They don't just settle quickly or push papers. They dig in, fight hard, and make sure every client gets the justice they deserve. And here's something that I personally love about them. They are a longtime supporter of this very podcast. Because just like us, and just like you, they care about this community and the folks who call it home. So if you've been hurt or someone that you care about has, just pick up the phone. Call NACE Law Group. They'll stand with you, fight for your family, and make sure your rights are protected. And who knows, maybe you'll even see them at a CityCast live show. Visit WashingtonDCInjuryLawyers.com. That's WashingtonDCInjuryLawyers.com. What other trends are you seeing? I love the trend of sort of experiential nights out with cocktails and pairings. What else are you seeing in the scene?
A fun one, and I think my coworker Tierney wrote about this gummy at Bourbon Steak, this corn gummy that was like super complicated that they were making and serving with a cocktail. We're seeing a lot of gummies and like fun bites with your cocktail. I'm really loving that trend. I'm also seeing at Providencia, some of their cocktails come with like a little sweet treat or even like a little cat that sits on your drink. Like there's lots of little bites coming with cocktails. And I think the gummy one is really interesting because they're kind of intensive. Like at Marcus DC, they have a Swedish fish that they serve. At Silver Lion, they have a dynamite old fashioned with like a gummy filled with Pop Rocks. Lardente's Negroni comes with a little Jello garnish. So it's interesting to see these like weird, super, super hard to make jellies on cocktails. I think that's an interesting one. And one that I've seen in New York and I'm starting to see here is hojicha. Do you know what hojicha is?
I do not.
It's like a smoked green tea. It has a really smoky flavor to it. I'm seeing it in more cocktails around here. I think I saw it recently at Zeppelin, and I saw it at Love Makoto in their new old fashioned, their seasonal fall old fashioned has hojicha in it and like just imparts an amazing smoky flavor. So I'm excited to see if that trend will like catch on here. We'll see.
That's pretty exciting. Is there a mixologist or someone doing something that you're super excited about right now?
I am such a huge fan of Dante at Topori. He is an amazing mixologist there. I think I've tried like most of the cocktails on their menu and I just am always blown away by them. I think also the wonderful duo at Providencia are doing something really interesting with their cocktails. They're playing it up with these like memory aligned cocktails that connect to childhood memories, and the like way they make those cocktails, they're just day-long processes and I think they're super interesting. Oh, Silver Lion's always like killing the game. I just like think that they're always making amazing cocktails, and their specialty menus they come out with are so thorough. They're using like electrocution in cocktails now on their newest menu. So yeah, those are a few people where I'm like really keeping an eye. And again, Press Club, I think the experience of it is really cool. So
well, it goes back to what you were saying about how experiential beverage and meal experiences is kind of a thing right now in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. And like any way where you can make a cocktail be either like more than a cocktail. I'm thinking of like crazy fat washing. The like Tell Me Why at Anjou, where they sesame fat wash their whiskey for this kind of take on an old fashioned. Like fat washing, if you do a little fat washing with something interesting, people are really into that. To like, having a crazy story behind a cocktail, like, oh, we're like gonna marry, mezcal and whiskey together with plantain, like they're doing at Providencia. I think if there's like a little story behind the cocktail, it's also experiential, So I definitely enjoy those kind of menus, and I think they draw customers in too.
Definitely. Oh, I would totally show up for a cocktail that has a little story or a little experience with it.
Yeah, yeah.
What about for folks who are doing Sober October or Dry January or just cutting back? Do you have favorite mocktails in the city?
Ooh, that is a really good question. I know I've referenced them a lot. I'm biased because I live by them, so I'm a huge fan. But Providencia does most of their cocktails can become mocktails because one of the partners, Eric Bruner Yang, doesn't drink. So they're really great at that. I'm trying to think of more great places. Love Makoto by me does some great mocktails. I think that I'm really seeing them become big across the whole city. Like, I don't think there really is a bar you can go to now where if you ask for a mocktail, they won't make you one, especially like more high-end fun cocktail bars. And I love seeing also when they, instead of having like a separate mocktail menu, when they star different cocktails to be like, oh, this one can be a mocktail, this one could be a mocktail. I feel like that's making it like the barrier to entry is even easier that way because it's not like you have to ask for a separate menu or whatever. So I'm definitely seeing that across the city.
Yeah, it used to be if you asked for a mocktail, they would be like, oh, our Diet Coke mocktail, our soda with lime mocktail. Definitely DC has stepped it up in terms of mocktails in the last few years.
Yeah, it's been great. I think I've had a lot of friends that have done Dry January and honestly never had issues going to bars with us, which is crazy. I mean, even wine bars throughout the city are starting to carry low ABV or non-alcoholic wine. So there's options out there for everybody.
Okay, what is the best cheap cocktail in the city?
Ooh, well, again, there's like this martini craze that has created all these really cheap martinis, which I'm not mad about. Like you said, like a 2 martini night is a perfect night. I would say some of my favorites, Casino Marini. They'll do their cheap martinis, and now they've also gone out to doing $7 versions of other drinks that are fun. Some whiskey based drinks. I love OKPB's Happy Hour. Oh, so fantastic. They always are doing martinis and they're always doing Moscow Mules, but sometimes they switch up what the third drink is on their happy hour. Fan of that. And I feel like I can't not bring up Last Call Bar. They're known for their amazing, cheaper drinks. They've got
one of my favorite bars in the city.
Yes, it's fun and their happy hour is super fun. I'm a huge fan. Their old fashioned on draft is really, really reliable and solid.
And it's just a good vibe in there. It just feels good in there.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Okay, let's take it the other way. Best pricey but worth it cocktail in the city.
Oof, hard. I would say go to Silver Lion and see what you like on their menu. They have some amazing, pricey but delicious cocktails. I've recently went and tried the Press Club experience again, and it's $95, but they do a whole tasting of a bunch of different cocktails again on this album that they do, and it comes with bites. So I would call it like a light dinner plus like a whole night of drinking for $95, which isn't bad in my opinion. And I'm trying to think of other good great cocktails around the city that are that are on the spendier side. I'm really a budget girl. I feel like I'm always looking for happy hours.
Well, that's especially good for right now in DC when, let's face it, so many of us are tightening our purse strings a little bit because of what's been going on. It's just nice to have options that are not, going to break the bank.
Yeah, and I'm seeing those options more and more at these high-end bars. Press Club now does I think it's 40 classics on Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. They do $10 or $12 cocktails for those classic cocktails. I'm starting to definitely see classier places with really, really good happy hours. So that's great.
Okay, let's say that you're given infinite cash. You can book anywhere, open reservations, wherever you want in the city. Where are you going?
Ooh, for cocktails, not for dinner.
Let's say for both.
I really loved Marcus when I recently went. I think they're doing really interesting things. I think about that crab rice every day, but you do need infinite money to go and have it. What else? What else have I been obsessed with recently? I mean, Topori is inexpensive, in my opinion. It's a great middle-of-the-road restaurant, but I would definitely go there if I just could, like, spend whatever I wanted. I would try half their cocktail menu in one night if I could. Like, I just think it's fantastic. What's another, like, on my list of top places? I know that there's more. Oh, I really want to go to Chai Pani, and I would love to go with a big group. So I want to try Chai Pani definitely and bring a huge group. So maybe that's a good unlimited income place to go.
Yes, when you hit the lottery, that's got to be your first stop, Emily.
Oh, yeah, like half the dining room. I'll be taking it up with my friends.
Emily, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, Bridget. This was great.
That is all for today here on CityCast DC. And if you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. And if you like conversations like this one, support our work by becoming a CityCast DC member. You can do that at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.